If you're a person with a lot of ideas and a lot of things that you're working on and you find it hard to organize them all, this is the video for you. What's up guys, it's me Lori. So it's back to school season, and even though some of us are well out of school, I figured in the spirit of sort of getting ready for the school year for those of you who are in school, I would do a video about the way that I use Evernote. Evernote is an application that's been around for a while. A lot of you have probably heard of it, and a lot of you might know of it as just a place where you can sort of save documents and notes and stuff like that and photos so that you can access it from any device that you have, whether it's your computer or your phone. I've sort of taken it a step beyond that and created a system within Evernote customized to my needs that I think are really working out well because I have so many things going on between my day job and YouTube and all the things that I'm trying to do in my personal life, and I find that it's actually really super useful, more so than any sort of paper planner or document organizing system that I could come up with on my computer, and I want to share that with you guys today. So as you guys can see, I do have Evernote myself, but I'm actually going to show you how to set one up from scratch. I'm going to start it totally new. That way, if you decide that you want to use the system or something, you can see exactly how it's done. So you'll want to go to evernote.com. And the nice thing I should note first is that you can access Evernote from the apps when you download them to your devices, but you'll also be able to access all your files from a browser, from any computer you're using, which is really nice because then you never have to worry about referring back to your notes if you lose a phone, God forbid, or if you're traveling and you're in a hotel and using like a common computer. So I'm just gonna start a new one. So when you open Evernote, you'll see that there's really not a lot there. There's a bunch of tutorials that you can use, which are super useful. So definitely get acquainted with the platform. But there are no, notebook structure set up. It just looks like a place to dump stuff, right? Which is not very helpful. So I'm going to create an inbox first, which is a sort of place to save things on the fly. Like you'll notice if you download the Evernote app to your smartphone, you'll be able to save photos, videos, voice memos, whatever you want. I don't know about videos actually, but basically take notes like, when you hear about something and you just need to jot it down like in a regular notebook, you'll want to save that and you won't want to go through the hassle of figuring out where it goes and organizing it. So that's going to go into your default folder. So you need to create that default folder by going to your first notebook, which is already created for you, and then renaming this. And I'm going to name this inbox with an @ symbol in the beginning. And this, you'll see later, serves the purpose of keeping this folder always at the top of your list of folders. Now, the second thing I'm going to do is create another notebook. And I'm going to call this long-term goals. So what I'm going to do here, which is not going to take me very much time because I've already done this process, is to separate my life into several different categories of things that I want to accomplish, at least that will involve Evernote. And this should take some time for you, so don't freak out if it's taking a really long time to figure out what these categories are supposed to be. But this is sort of like the most important process to get you started, because this is what's going to set you up for success for the rest of the Evernote planning. So I'm going to create a new note within this notebook for my first life category goal, and that's going to be health and fitness. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and just put a number 1 next to it because that is also how I'm going to order these various categories. Another category that's good to add is finance, I would say. Personal finance, money, whatever you want to call it. And then I'm going to go through and do the rest of my categories. This is just a sample. I mean, this is from my life. It's customized to me. And the beautiful thing about Evernote is that you can do it for whatever suits your life. So if you're a mom, you might want to make a folder for your kids because you have activities that you want to do with your kids, and maybe make a separate one for your husband or your wife. So now you can see that these are in the order that I made them, but what I can do here is sort by title. And now I have everything in the order that I want them to be, corresponding to the number that I put at the beginning of each category. Next, I'm gonna open each note, okay? And this is the part that can be fun, depending on what your interests are. But now is where you sort of go and create a wish list of things that you want to accomplish, and they can range from the realistic to the most ambitious, crazy things you can think of. The point being, you want everything that you want to do to be listed here and put down on paper for the record that you can refer back to when you're, trying to figure out what a good move is. And I'll explain that down the line. But here, just sort of free write and do a bullet point list of really simple phrases that you know that you want to accomplish. I'm going to do a bullet point list. And then I'm going to say for health and fitness, let's say I want to lose 20 pounds. Okay. I want to sleep 7 to 8 hours a day. Social and family might be weird because it doesn't seem like the type of thing that most people would want to organize. But for me, I actually have to actively plan my social and my family time. More my social time than my family time, because I have so many obligations between my job and YouTube and what I'm doing on the side, and also with my family, that it's very easy for me to fall into like a cycle of never going out with my friends. So personal growth is a really important folder, in my opinion, that I think everyone should have, because we need work-life balance. Especially when we do like our jobs, work and our other pursuits can sometimes overtake who we are, and we stop growing otherwise. These are like fun, non-work things that I need to set aside time for. So now I've got this great list, and it has a very important function. This list is going to be the place that I refer back to anytime that I'm making a decision, small or big. So when I'm deciding whether or not to take on a new client or a new project, I'm going to go back into my work or whatever appropriate folder it is and see whether that project is going to get me closer to one of my goals. And if it doesn't, that's how I know why I'm conflicted. And it's also how I can, realize that maybe this is not the opportunity for me. So I think this is, the least technical part of your Evernote, and also the most important. So the next thing I'm going to do is create stacks for each one of those goal categories. And to do stacks, you actually have to create notebooks within it. So it takes a little bit of pre-thinking, maybe on paper, to write out what types of notes you're going to want to take for each category. So my first category, if you remember, was health and fitness. I'm going to want to create a health and fitness stack, and I need to pre-plan a little bit what is going to go into that. So I think I'm going to want to save my workout plans. I'm going to want to maybe save some smoothie recipes that I want to refer to. So I'm going to create those notebooks first. So you see these two notebooks that I created are separate, and if I don't do this next step, they're going to end up in this long jumbled list of random notebooks that are sorted in like alphabetical or numeric order, which don't help us at all when we're trying to organize. So I'm going to create a stack by dragging one notebook over the other notebook, and you'll see there's a little thing that pops up that says create stack. And then I'm going to title the stack exactly what I titled my goal for that category. So now you see I have my health and fitness category, and beneath that, all of the notebooks that I want to take notes in. I can save web clippings, I can save photos, memos, whatever I want, and they can all get categorized into these various categories. And if I want to add more notebooks, I just add another one and say like, medical, because this is also a health folder, and I'll keep all of my medical records in here by creating that and then dragging that also to the stack. See? And you can also order these. If you want them in specific order, you can also use the number method that I showed you earlier. Okay, next one. So for work, you'll see I'm just putting in these generic markers because it really could be anything. And this is the part where no matter what you do, you know, if you're an artist, this could be an ongoing collaborative project you're doing that you want to keep documentation on. Or if you are someone who does sales, you might want to keep your various accounts separated into different notebooks here where you'll keep notes on each one. You might want to if you have a specific goal, like you have a year-end review coming up and you need to do certain types of things before getting there so you can ask for your raise, create a note for that. And that all goes under the header of whatever the category is. I want to draw your attention for a second to what I've done for my YouTube folder, because this is a good structure, I think, for anyone who is in a creative industry or is making a notebook for a creative industry. Admin for me is like anything related to the back office work that I need to do with YouTube. That's like, you know, business related things, channel maintenance, and stuff that's not immediately related to like the actual creation of content. And that's an important folder, but you know, it needs to be separate from everything that I'm doing for the actual, you know, in terms of creating videos. And then for work in progress, that's where I'm going to be keeping all of my ongoing scripts, my list of ideas, my publishing schedule, all kinds of things like that. And done is going to be where I drop things out of the work in progress folder and, you know, into a separate folder where I can just keep track of archives of things that I've already done and also, you know, feel accomplished because I've got a bunch of things in there. I actually like to keep these in a specific order as well. So I want to rename this. Last couple I'm just going to go through really quickly. So now you guys can see my completed structure, which is basically the outline and index for how everything's gonna work. And it's not over yet. I still have a few more things that I wanna show you that you can do with this. But you'll see actually this, I guess because it's on the web, it made the @ symbol below the alphanumeric items. So I guess this is because on the browser version, it's different than the app, but the @ symbol has sort of brought this to the bottom. And I don't know, just because I am really picky about this stuff, I'm gonna change that because I really just want to see it at the top. This like really annoys me. So let's see if that works. Okay, so the number sign, I guess, will be better depending on whatever works for you, but just, you know, play around with it. Now, if you have a folder like this, where you've got, you know, works in progress and stuff that you need to brainstorm for and come up with ideas for, I've got another tip for you, which is to go into your works in progress, which is going to be like the main place where you keep all of your ongoing projects and writing and art and whatever it is that you might be working on. And you need to keep track of all those ideas. Now, after you use this for a while, you'll realize that your stuff is going to get super jumbled up and there's going to be like tons of stuff in here. It's going to be hard to organize them, but I have a way for you to fix that. So here you are going to make a new note and you're going to call this ideas. This is going to be the place where you organize a running list of new ideas that you come up with. So you might be jotting things down and you might be saving things into your inbox, and when you want to file them away, if they're not really that developed yet, they're going to become a line into this main index of things that are just percolating in your head. So for me, I'm going to do like, okay, Evernote, how to set up Evernote. That's an idea for a video. I might want to be doing a back to school video or something like that. Now, where this is super handy is that whenever I'm ready to develop an idea, I go to this folder and I use this title as a title of a new note. So here, I'll call it how to set up Evernote. I'll say, you know, film a brand new setup and whatever else I need to keep track of for this particular thing. Film an intro, etc. I might even write a script here. So I'm going to save this, and that is going to now become a whole note where I can keep anything and everything related to this video that I'm doing. Now, in order to make this index super helpful, I'm going to also go to copy notebook link here. And I think in the application, you can actually just right click on the title of the notebook. You've now got a hyperlink to this specific note within your notebook. So go back to my ideas list. I highlight this and I link it to the note that I just copied. And now I can click on it and it goes straight to the notes. I mean, this is brilliant. I love this feature of Evernote. This really like takes it to the next level for me. If I want to do it for another one, just go through the process again. Very easy. I realized I just mistyped this. Back to school videos. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna create a new note for this. Write the script here. I have not come up with the script for this yet, clearly. And then I'm going to go ahead and copy the note link and link this also. There. So now I have a master list of ideas. They all link to exactly the note I need, so I don't even need to worry about what order I keep these in. And then as soon as I'm done with anything, like let's say I'm going to be done with this, I'm going to go to it, move it into my done folder, which will take it out of my work in progress folder, and then go to my ideas list and delete it. Done. So that is a great way to organize what you've done, what you haven't, what's still in progress. And if you'll see, eventually when you start building this up, this folder is so satisfying to look at, because this is going to be a huge list of all the things that you've already accomplished. And I don't know about you, but seeing progress gives me so much motivation. So I really do like to keep those things archived so I can, you know, also to refer back to if I ever need to for whatever reason. So I hope that was helpful for you guys, and I will try my best in the next few weeks to come up with other back to school related videos that would be useful for anybody, whether they're going back to school or not, but just because this is the time when people sort of buckle down and try to really get organized. So if you guys do have any suggestions for videos that you would like and topics you want me to cover, definitely leave them down below. Otherwise, give me a like and let me know what you think, how you organize your life, and I'll see you guys later this week. Bye.